I live in the weak and the wounded.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
They will say that I have shed innocent blood. What's blood for, if not for shedding?
I just can't take no pleasure in killing. Just some things you gotta do. Don't mean you have to.
Mic check, mic check.
I'm your number one fan.
Yeah.
A little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Anomaly is in the building.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Eyeball against you get any idea how much blood jets out of a guy's neck and his throat?
Hello.
Have you checked the children?
What up? You are listening to the Random Review Podcast. I'm your host, Anomaly, and tonight we are talking about horror flicks, psychological thrillers, things that fuck with your mind, and also what makes us as humans so fascinated with scaring someone and also your own fears, your own paranoias. Now, I have an extensive list, so we might burn your ears off tonight. You cool with that, right? Can I drop an explosion on that shit?
Motherfuckers better be ready.
But first and foremost, I want to give a salute to my co-host Jigga in the building. Jigga, what's good?
Good morning, my neighbors! Hey, fuck you! Yes! Yes! Fuck you too!
What's good, Jigga?
What up?
Also, we have the first two presidential ladies of the Random Review Podcast. Miss Adrianna, how are you doing?
Doing good.
Miss Samantha, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. So excited to be here.
Excellent. Now, I literally want to murder this one, so let's get it started. How you want to go? Where do you want to start off, man?
So we're starting with movies, right?
We're starting with horror movies.
So
we got a
going
list.
with like a genre first, or are we doing?
No, we're gonna
all
start
around?
specifically with horror tonight, and then we're gonna spin off to some psychological shit, and then we might spin off to some other
More than
what the
likely.
fuck's wrong with you type of shit.
You know,
You know what I'm
stay on
saying?
track.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, what do you want to start, yo? I got okay. So the first one that I got on the list. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna jump. The first one that really freaked me out as a kid after watching so many scary flicks and thinking that it was cliche, the first one that I'll actually say fuck with me was Candyman.
Candyman was fucking creepy.
The only reason that I think Candyman was so creepy is because that was the first time that I was seeing niggas getting killed in the projects by a horror motherfucker.
By a ghost.
A ghost,
that was
nigga.
A brother.
Yo, it was a brother.
And then went out fucking.
He
horrible.
didn't have, yo, for real, he didn't have no shame. This nigga was killing kids. He was killing, yo, that scene where he creeped up on her homegirl, and just put that hook right in. Oh my God, nigga, I thought my stomach was gonna explode. Oh my God.
I haven't, no.
Yo, Candyman is a classic.
And it's not on anything right now. Like
it's on Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon. I don't know if y'all got Amazon for the listeners out
I think
there.
I was watching it while you were sleeping.
See, that's that bullshit. See, that's
Yo,
what
hell
this.
nah.
Yeah, this is
Yo,
what she
that
does
movie
while I sleep.
Nigga, that movie usually comes on BET.
That's fucked
Some
up.
random ass time.
They just like, it's like, yo, we're just gonna let y'all niggas know there's one for you motherfuckers too.
Yo, for real. We got your asses too, guys.
Yo, I don't know.
But that I remember the first time I saw that shit was when I lived in Mississippi with my pops and my granny.
Okay.
And it came on just like the same type of thing because Freddie always had VHS tapes that had multiple movies on it. Didn't have the credits and shit. They were bootleg shits.
Okay.
And it fucking popped on after a Disney movie. Like he had made a collaboration tape.
Candyman popped up off it.
That's what he put on the fucking tape. It was like
That's how I found out it. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, why would you put Fat Albert on and then put It on after that?
Freddy's an
The
asshole.
fuck is wrong with you? And that was our mother, nigga.
Assholes.
Yo,
Love them, but
it was like, yo, watch this shit and then watch this shit.
well, no, he put Robin Hood. You remember the Disney version of Robin Hood?
Yes, that was that was like one of the only favorite Disney movies that
He
I
had
liked.
that, and then Candyman was next. And Candyman's what, like 2 hours long?
That nigga's stupid for doing that shit.
And I didn't have a remote, but I was afraid to get the fuck out the bed at that point. So I sat there, yo, and it's fucked up because the house we had a room.
Shout out to niggas being scared.
Fucking, my bedroom sat at the back of the house, right?
Okay.
Didn't have a fucking curtain. And there's this big ass field that leads all the way to this dark ass, old ass church. And there's nothing in between. There's no fence. There's not a like mobile home. There's not a car.
Uh-huh.
So at the middle of the fucking night, sitting here watching this movie, Candyman comes on, and they show one of the scenes where this nigga is like lurking in the fucking trees. And I looked outside, and I just laid down, and I just like listened to the rest of the movie. Yo.
It feels like they subconsciously fucking with you.
No, they did that shit on purpose. I think that nigga did that shit on purpose.
All right, so that was at the bottom of my list.
Bim. So I have something to say. So now that you were talking about, Candyman being a black guy, how many like black serial killers compared to like white serial killers or like Hispanic, like La Llorona? I still haven't seen that movie, but I do want to see it because a lot of Mexicans are scared of that. My bartender, he's like 40-some years old, and he like flips out because we were bringing that up at work. He's like, "Don't you ever talk about that." I'm just like, dude, how old are you?
I've only heard about that through you, and I really don't know the whole story.
I've heard that shit through.
I really
all
don't.
My,
Yeah, I really
90% of
don't
my
know.
friends are
I
Mexican.
really don't know.
Killers and that are like,
I really don't
Like-
know about that. See, y'all gotta explain
You've
that
seen
to
the
me.
movie, right?
I have. I don't want to like spoil it for them.
No, explain it to me, because I want to know what it's about.
The story of
So-
La Llorona.
Because I can watch it for
Llorona.
myself. I just want to know what it's about.
So there's this woman. She's married to this man, and they have 2 children. And I guess the man like goes out on her and cheats on her, and she gets really hurt, and so she ends up murdering
she
her
drowns
kids.
her kids.
Yeah, and she's like so hurt from this, so she kills herself. And then so like every time like a kid walks in the arroyo, right?
Like the river, yeah.
Yeah, they would. She would take the kids.
It's just another example of how niggas be fucking up.
Yo,
You see?
I mean,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
and then
None of
Yeah.
this shit. None of this shit would have happened if he would have just stayed at
but
home,
at the same time,
Yeah.
Netflix
That's
and chill,
excessive.
nigga.
that's
You know
excessive.
what I'm saying?
Now, if she would have castrated the dude, I'd be like, alright, whatever. But
God.
I'd be like, okay, yeah, that nigga fucked up.
Oh, you
But-
really fucked up.
But she like kills
but
her
to kill
kids
the kids,
too.
yo,
That's
like,
that's fucked up.
that means that sometimes that's the same thing. Niggas be fucking up.
You went local.
Women go way too crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
0 to 3,000 in fucking
yeah.
half a second.
All right, so okay, so what should we jump to next? Okay, I want to cover the Rob Zombie flicks.
Okay. Are we starting House of a Thousand Corpses?
House of a Thousand Corpses. House of a Thousand Corpses. Yes.
Nigga, I like vaguely remember that movie.
Okay, and
it's
you
been
know
a
what?
long
And
time
see,
since I've seen
and Miss Adrianna just pointed to me that there's some ones from the 80s that we definitely need to cover. Of course, the obvious ones, the cliche ones. But the only reason I jumped to Rob Zombie is because he seems to be making some new ill shit. He's the only one that's making horror movies that seem to really
But it's like real
resonate
life
with horror
horror.
fans.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Because everything's
it's
just
based
so
off real
cheesy
life.
now. But so was the Annabelle movie in that movie?
That
seen
was
the
based
sun?
off ghosts. I'm
That
saying
would-
this is based off of living human beings that can naturally commit these fucking hostile acts and be like okay with it, laugh about it, sit there and joke about it while they're sitting there
Rob Zombie's
assaulting and
Right.
sawing people up and cutting them and killing them for no fucking reason. Like, there's a difference between a movie that's like a ghost movie than somebody creating a movie that's based off of just like normal people. Because I mean, not
Okay.
mentally
Yeah.
normal, not mentally normal, but somebody that could be out there.
Have you-
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mom.
I'm just saying though, because the Annabelle is actually based off a doll that is actually real. There's actually stories.
Yes.
There's actually an Annabelle doll that
Yep.
doesn't look like it, but there's been stories where people have gone to that museum.
Yeah, white folks.
Oh, if Lorraine and Ed.
Your point is?
No, Lorraine and Ed Warren, like, they have a lot of stuff that's haunted, and people that have looked at the Annabelle doll have actually been reported dead shortly after.
Well, yeah, that's because they dumbasses decided to go to a fucking haunted area and look at some shit. If it's haunted, stay the fuck away from it.
Fucking with some shit you ain't got no business fucking with.
Like,
That's why.
Old heads, they will tell you, yeah, my house is haunted. Don't fuck with it. It won't fuck with you. Legit. My granny said it. My granddad said it.
I wouldn't mess with a Ouija board or nothing like that, but I'd still go to a haunted house. And he wouldn't.
Nah.
I would never fuck with a Ouija board. Ever. No. Just because I'm superstitious like that. Like, I'm the type of motherfucker that'll see a penny, and if it's on the tail side, I won't pick that shit up. Because it's supposed to be bad luck.
You got that from mom.
Yeah, I definitely
Yo,
got
she
that
would
from
slap
mom.
that shit out your hand.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
You'd be like, oh, penny. She sees that it's tail, she'll slap your hand real quick. No, it's
real quick.
If you hold it more than 3 seconds, you're gonna die. What? No, I just want some candy.
But okay. So we're on Rob Zombie. So we started with the House of a Thousand Corpses. Corpses. Orifices. Corpses. Morpheuses. Orifices. Okay, so he came out with The Devil's Rejects as a sequel, and that movie was more of a retaliation movie, but it was still brutal. Like, the movie was fucking dope. Yeah. But they got 3 from Hell coming out. And I don't know if you've seen the preview for that. I almost want to pull up the preview for that.
Babe,
Somebody pull up the preview for that shit right now.
The two, the reason why I like the other one is the first one, it was like basically like on a folktale. So they were basically talking about, the guy that, was down there to experiment on people, Dr. Satan.
Uh-huh.
And then the second one, it wasn't necessarily about that. It was just people, they end up getting trapped and shit like that.
Yo, I'm pulling up this trailer right now, and I don't know. I know the listeners can't see it. If you can, pull that shit up on YouTube. I'm pulling it up right now. We're gonna fucking hear this shit.
Yo, if you're looking it up, put pause right now.
Resulted in a violent clash with police. Chances for survival are less than 1,000,000 to 1. There's no justice in this world. I am justice.
They're trying to blame us, but we didn't do it.
Free the 3.
Free the 3. Free the 3. Free the 3.
Yeah.
Now we can have a real dead. That's word.
I still want to party.
I'm just a clown dancing for the sins of mankind. This is my death factory.
She said my death basket.
I love it.
Sherry Moon, man.
Hello, America. Did you miss me?
Was that them? So was that them going to jail?
Yo, that shit sounds fucking crazy. Shout out to fucking Rob Zombie, man. That motherfucker does some ill shit. I heard he was making a movie that was actually based on the Santa Fe prison riots.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's a fucked up movie then.
Yeah, I feel like we spent too much time on Rob Zombie though, and I just threw a trailer and I'm over here. I should got fucking money for promoting that nigga like that. Huh?
Let's move to the next one because we were still on House of 1,000 Corpses.
Martyrs. Have you seen Martyrs, Sam?
No, that's the one I've been telling you.
Miss Adrianna, have you seen Martyrs?
Oh, okay. You said we've seen it, but
I've told you we've seen it, but you act like we haven't seen. It's a French flick, okay? Now, it's about these two girls that were, and I'm not trying to spoil anything, but it's about these two girls that were in, what was it, an orphanage? It was an orphanage together.
They became great friends. One had, hold on, because I feel like you're going to say too much.
Yeah, I'm going to spoil this.
So, it's two girls. They were orphans together. One had a psychological disorder.
Right.
And her friend always held her back throughout their entire lives, from them being like 7 all the way throughout the movie.
Right.
So that movie is one of those things where you really, if you can't say too much without giving too much away.
Okay, now the one thing that I won't give away is that it's gonna throw you the fuck off.
Yeah.
So if you start that movie, you think for the first 30 minutes you're watching. You think you have the story packed. You already think that you got that shit predicted. Hours, right? You're like, yo, I got this shit down, huh?
It's just like 2 hours, right?
I don't know if it's 2 hours. I don't remember how long it is. We gotta fact check that one, yo. I don't know. But I remember the first time I watched it, I was sitting at work and I was bored, and a friend of mine at the time, he recommended this shit to me. I'm sitting there watching it. First 30 minutes, I'm like, okay, I think I know how this shit is gonna go. You know what I mean? And then it completely fucking flips on you, and you're like, what am I watching? You know what I mean? And I even call this nigga. I call this nigga while I was watching. I was like, what the fuck did you, what is this shit? And he's just laughing. He was like, yo, yeah, it's going left on you, right? You know what I mean? Left on you, right. Shout out to
made three different ones, yo. The original one,
okay, and for the listeners out there, don't watch the American remake. If you watch the original, watch the French version. I believe that came out in what, 2008. 2008.
I found the right one.
That's the version that you need to watch. Fuck the American version. They fucked that all up.
And
I saw a little bit of that shit and I was like, nah, fuck this, man.
Well, yo, even just Google the pictures of the movie from 2008, and that shit'll pique your interest. Just all the crazy shit that they have, and it doesn't explain anything. It doesn't give anything away.
What does it say?
It doesn't say anything. It just shows the pictures, like scenes, like screenshots of like bloody parts. But
yo, so that movie is way
gory.
Would you consider that a horror movie?
Yes, and I'd consider it like also like a sci-fi movie.
Okay, now I'm gonna stop at Martyrs right now, and I'm gonna tell everybody, for the listeners out there, go peep Martyrs for one, the French version, the 2008 version. But I would like to hear from Miss Adrianna about the fucking Green Inferno.
No, you're the one that was.
No, you the one that you put me on that fucking crazy ass movie.
And I don't think either one of us has seen that.
Yo, look up the preview for that shit. If you haven't seen the Green Inferno, it's about a group
people that go to, pretty much a rainforest indigenous tribe. They go visit them, and these people are cannibals. So the
indigenous tribe, right?
Yeah, the best part though is there's this big guy. So he has some weed on him, and they put him on a slab. They end up cutting this dude up, all his limbs one by one, and he pretty much dies from shock. And then they end up eating him, but he's all infused with all this weed, so the whole village is just getting high.
They cut his torso?
Yo, they cut the motherfucker smoked all the weed, right? And they ended up cutting him up and cooking him up, and they didn't realize that this nigga was full of weed, so everybody's eating him and getting high at the same time. Now this shit. When she showed me this shit, yo, it sounds funny, right? It sounds funny. It sounds funny. It sounds funny. But when I actually saw the shit, when she showed me the shit, like it made me nauseous. Like it was a really fucking sick scene. Like this dude is sitting there fucking squiggling on there, and they're fucking cooking him, and he's half dead, and this nigga, yo, it was fucked up. Fuck that movie. Yo, Eli Roth is a sick bastard. Eli Roth is the same motherfucker that did Hostel, and the first time I saw Hostel, it fucked me up when they showed that girl getting up with her Achilles tendon already sliced.
That was a dude. That was a guy.
No, that was a girl. That's the same one that fucking used the blowtorch to pop her eye out.
That was a Chinese girl, but it wasn't. There was a guy that got his.
It was the guy. It was the homie.
It was the guy?
It was the main guy.
Either way, That's not something I want to see. I'm not good with that shit. My stomach can't handle that
Well,
shit.
I'm pretty sure they did it again in the second one.
Yo, my stomach can't. Ugh.
So another one like that,
Shit.
but you didn't mention Saw. That's kind of has to
Okay,
do with
okay. So we didn't get to Saw, did we?
No.
Okay.
They
So
stopped after 3.
they're about to make another one, aren't they?
It's gonna be like what, 6?
Fucking 10?
No, they just.
No, hell no. They way past 6. Say what?
We haven't seen that one. Jigsaw.
Okay.
That was one that just came out like in the fall.
Okay, so the first Saw was really good. I really dug the idea. I didn't like the fact that they decided to keep making it a theme, whatever, who gives a fuck. But the first Saw was really good. It was really fucking good. I'd never seen a concept like that. The fact that this dude was taking his anger out on people that were not being appreciative or humble about their fucking lives, you know what I'm saying? Because he was dying, he was dying of cancer, right?
Yeah, but you didn't find that shit out until way later.
But you know what? The first thing that was the first time that I saw a twist ending like that, where this motherfucker got up at the end.
And walked off. Like
And just walked the fuck off and locked these niggas in, and these motherfuckers had to chop a leg off, and I'm like,
they thought he was a dead body.
yo, that shit was crazy, man. That shit was crazy. I was mad impressed with not so much the goriness or the cinematography of the movie, but the way it was fucking just the story. The story was fucking dope.
So the second one I liked is because a girl, she gets trapped in the game again, supposedly, but she ends up being part of them in the sequel.
She's
his accomplice.
Princess.
Yeah.
She ends up taking over, and then with the third one, it's a dude that takes over. He basically ends up having them all kill each other, and then the original one ends up fucking being back on top of it.
Yeah.
After what, like 6 or some shit like that.
But see, that's another one of those franchise movies where they'll just what?
It's like Terminator. They've done too many. They have another one coming out this year.
That one.
But that one's actually directed by James Cameron, and it's actually got fucking the original Sarah Connor in it. We're not.
That's
That movie looks dope.
That.
Don't even diss that movie. Yo, get back to the.
Get out your feels for a second. I'm just saying. It's what they do to like so many movies.
Which one do you think on here that we should actually talk about, for real?
Read some.
Okay. Oh, all right. So, before we even proceed, we definitely have to give a shout out to the originators, the Freddy Kruegers, the Jason Voorhees, the Nightmares on Which one?
Nightmare on Elm Street, because that was one of the first horror movies I saw. Because that shit was on TV, and it was like, actually, the one I consider the first horror movie I saw was Alice in Wonderland, when fucking it was the cartoon. What? That shit used to scare the fuck out of me as a kid.
It,
Alice in Wonderland.
Did you ever watch the cartoon?
The Alice in Wonderland cartoon.
Yeah. Have you watched it? I'm just saying, nigga. I was like 5, alright? My room was creepy at the time.
Scary?
My room was creepy at the time.
Jay, tell me what you were scared of.
Fuck all y'all. I don't care.
Were you scared of the cat?
The hell yeah.
Oh that cat was
creepy ass cat. Yo, because, alright, since we're on the horror movie shit, when I was in fucking Mississippi, I was sitting there on my granny's porch, sitting there playing with my nephews and shit, which one of my nephews, 2 of my nephews are fucking a couple years younger than me.
Alright.
So I'm like 5, they're 4 and 3. We're sitting on the patio.
Okay.
And my great uncle had a trailer that was right next to us, right?
Okay.
And I hear like a cat meowing. Look over, there's a lit up cat glowing under the fucking trailer, walks off, and I thought I was tripping, and was like, yo, what the fuck?
You are tripping.
No, the fucked up part is my granny, who was 65 at the time, straight up said, yeah, it's just, it happens out here. And I was like, what the fuck? Because her fucking house used to be fucking
cat
slave
got
land.
murdered. And it's haunting. Cats are evil as shit, though. I can't stand it.
Yo, so that's why I don't like, that's another reason why I don't like cats. I saw a ghost cat, nigga, fuck y'all.
Okay, so this is Probably one of the reasons why me and my sisters, well, Issa, me and my middle sister, she's like a year and a half younger than me, why we didn't get along is because, first of all, she don't like sharks. Second of all, she does not like child's play.
Hold on. Sharks?
Yeah, she's scared. She's still scared of sharks, and she's fucking like
who the fuck's not scared of sharks?
Are you talking about the animal or are you talking about a movie?
Well,
sharks in general, yeah.
Okay, you're not afraid of sharks? You just gonna go pet one? Hey,
no,
boy,
but on TV, she like freaks out. I'm like, it's on TV. It ain't gonna come fucking eat you. Come through the TV. No. Anyways, so I used to make her watch Chucky. So I used to like hold her and yeah, I'd be like, Issa, it's turned off, whatever, and she'd be like crying and then yeah. But I like Chucky. He's cute.
See, you're a sick bastard for liking Chucky. Yo, my grandparents, when I was, I want to say about 7 or 8, they bought me a My Buddy doll. Now, I don't know if anybody really understands what Chucky is based off of, but he's based off a real doll. It was called My Buddy, and they had an alternate called Kid Sister. It'd be My Buddy. My buddy, you know what I'm saying? And they had that shit. And then right after that commercial, it'd be like, Kid sister. You know what I'm saying? But they had that doll for me. And I remember, like, right before they bought me the doll,
you'd seen Chucky.
That's when the movie came out. So the shit would be sitting in the room, and they're like, you don't want to take your My Buddy doll? We just paid $40 for it. I'm like, fuck that doll, man. Even as an 8-year-old kid, I'm like, fuck that doll. You know what I mean? Fuck that. Yo, fuck Chucky, man.
Wait, remember when I sent you those videos when you were at work by yourself of those dolls that came to life? People had them on record of them turning their heads and shit like that.
That's even more fucked up.
What is it, the porcelain dolls?
There's like this life-size doll. It like literally just turned its head towards her. There was this one where this teddy bear like was moving and shit with this whole group of guys, and they caught it after a while, and they all just fucking flipped out and left.
No, you know what used to fuck me up is after watching, what was it, Tales from the Crypt, and they had that story. That was it was a painting of all the slaves that had died on the land, but when their souls came out, they turned into little figurines, right? Little dolls, and they fucking started eating the whole new white family.
That was Tales from the Hood, wasn't it?
Tales from the Hood.
Yeah, that was the first one.
And my granny had like 10 of those fucking dolls in her house.
But you shouldn't be scared of that. White folks should be scared of that.
But nigga, it's a doll that moves. I don't give a fuck.
Shout out to black folks for fucking coming back as a fucking people. Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now. When I saw that shit. No, when I saw that shit, because when I first saw Tales from the Hood, this brother, he was running for mayor. He was trying to support his people, and the cops killed him. It was white cops that killed him, and one of the cops had ended up living in that plantation house, right? Yeah. And all of those little slave dolls that was possessed
he was the one that bought it.
Yeah. And they came back and they tortured the fuck out of them. And I wasn't even scared. I wasn't even scared. This is how I felt.
No, I thought it was dope. But
for real. That's how I felt about this shit.
But nigga, when I saw that shit, how old were you when you saw it?
I was about...
You're probably a teenager. I was like...
I want to say I was like 14, 15 when I saw that shit.
And I'm pretty sure I saw it with you.
Yeah, maybe.
You asshole.
Yo, you know they got a part 2. I heard that shit was trash, but I don't want to see it.
It was funny.
Okay, funny.
It wasn't scary. It was just funny.
I got an originator on the list. Now, me personally, I have never been scared of this movie. I know a lot of people have said that they are scared of this movie. The Exorcist.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Why?
I grew up religious, so I feel like that could happen. You know what I mean? You could get possessed. Oh my god, that's like so scary.
But I mean, there've been so many movies that came out where somebody was possessed by a demon. Like that's.
But it was almost one of the originals where a lot of people were probably scared to put it in there because they felt like people were gonna get, hurt by it.
And what was it you were telling me? Like if you watch those type of movies. Come into your house.
Yeah, that's what Mexicans believe anyways. Like every Mexican family that I've gone inside.
Don't even get me started on what Mexicans believe. Yo, so Danny's over here the other day. Danny's Hispanic. This motherfucker asked me if that was Harley Quinn.
Danny isn't.
I was like, isn't that?
He's not like Mexican. He's like.
And I told him, I was like, I think she represents the Day of the Dead.
Oh.
And he was like, he didn't even know. I'm like, yo, nigga, I don't even know. How the fuck you don't know? You know what I'm saying? Only reason I know is because my girl's Hispanic. You know what I'm saying?
His family's not like from Mexico. His family's from here, so he's Hispanic, but he doesn't really have that culture.
He's more on the Spanish side.
Okay.
I feel like
that's more of a Mexican thing.
Okay. All right.
Mexican and Spanish are like
Okay. You know what? What I want to do is I want to get off the horror flicks and I want to get on to the psychological thrillers. The real shit. The ones that are really scary. The ones that could possibly happen. You know what I mean?
We talked about a couple of those.
Nah. Silence of the Lambs. Anthony Hopkins. Shout out to fucking Anthony Hopkins.
That motherfucker's still making movies.
Yeah, that motherfucker Hannibal Lecter, yo, for real. That was probably one of the creepiest characters I've ever.
I love the side note they put on that was that when he said, "Hello, Clarice," and he goes,
"Hello, Clarice."
That was actually freestyled. He did that shit without her knowing.
Would you like some fava beans and a nice Chianti?
Nigga, when he says that,
yo,
and
you hear that evil laugh?
When he says that shit, yo, and in the original movie, when he says that shit, she didn't know he was gonna say that, and it actually scared the fuck out of her.
Yeah,
So that was a genuine look of terror.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's one of those things where you're like, how the fuck is Anthony Hopkins such a nice guy?
How do you know he's a nice guy? How do you know he's not only Hannibal Lecter?
I'm saying all like the charitable shit he does, all the fucking like positive PSA shit he does. Like,
right.
He's out there like.
Well, yeah, but what happened to Bill Cosby?
What?
I'm just saying he did a lot.
We ain't even talking about that.
I'm just saying though, you're saying like he's a good person and
I mean that is real life horror.
That's like.
That is real life horror.
I'm sorry, but
you're not off topic, so shit.
You compared Hannibal Lecter to Bill Cosby.
No, he was talking about Anthony Hopkins in real life. So.
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh my god. That was ill. Oh my gosh! Shout out to Miss Adrianna for that one. Yeah, that was dope.
I guess that's real.
That shit cracked me the fuck up. Yo, okay, so the next one I got on there is The Cell.
The Cell was dope. We just watched that like last month.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that whole? Okay, what was he doing? Suspension. Suspension. What was he doing? Suspense. Whatever.
So he would hook his back up to the ceiling and hang over a table, and then he would watch the video of the girl that he had kidnapped being basically drowned.
Okay, now I might have mentioned this earlier,
sexual
but
gratification while he pleased himself.
Okay. So I don't mean to cut you off, but I might have mentioned this earlier. But shout out to J-Lo for smoking that joint in her underwear. In the fucking.
Babe, let me tell you. So when I saw the preview, the only reason why I wanted to watch it is because J-Lo was.
J-Lo's dope. Shout out to fucking J-Lo.
She's such a good actress. Yeah. I don't know about
good actress.
No, she.
She has her moments.
Yeah, she has her moments, but that was just a good scene. That was a really good
watch
scene.
A 7th grade play. And then that one kid does that one line perfectly, and then you're like,
yeah, you're like, yeah, hell yeah.
Can we go home now?
Yeah, for real. All I needed to see was that, and then I can split. That's how I felt.
Oh my god, she's I think I like watching her.
But that was a really good classic movie. That was a really good horror flick. It was a psychological flick. One curveball that I'm gonna throw at everybody is Fallen, and I don't know if. Well, what do you want? What else you got to say about Cell?
So the fact that this dude had multiple personalities within inside himself, and she was mainly focused on this one little kid that I can't remember what. He was paralyzed,
right,
or some shit. So he had created a dark side of himself.
That was the whole purpose, right? Yeah, right.
I think it was dope that they went into the thought process of making up all these characters and then using all the women that he had already killed as dolls, and they each were fucking there was that one chick that was fucking she looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger with a ponytail.
Yeah, I remember that.
No,
she was the one that came in there.
Of Mortal Kombat. The one that looks like
Shiva.
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 That's what she looked like.
Yeah, she didn't have the
did
four
look like
arms.
She looked like Shiva.
She looked like Shiva. Yeah.
That looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger with a ponytail.
Shout out to Arnold Schwarzenegger with a ponytail.
I'm just saying,
Yo, that's
the
fucking
fact that
crazy.
They used all these different aspects to like symbolize everything that this dude had like went through, and then they went through like his childhood, and that is what created him into what he was into, because his dad forced him to have sex with a prostitute and everything when he was like 7 or 8.
That's fucking crazy.
And that was his dad's girlfriend.
You know what? I just told her about that today. And maybe we should get off of these movies for a second and start jumping to the other shit. You know what I mean? Because, for real, like, one thing about this whole topic and these movies is what goes behind the process of a person that's creating these topics. Like, what's the psychological process? You know what I mean? And how many of us are out there really, like, how many people do you pass on a regular basis that are probably thinking some shit that you saw in the cell? Or thinking some shit that you saw in Silence of the Lambs? You know what I'm saying?
It was crazy that we were talking about the other night when we were at my coworker's house was that they have Stephen King. When he was a kid, he had nightmares, and they told him to write down. They told Stephen King when he was a kid to write down his dreams, and basically create like a script or like write a story about it. So he did that, and he used most of what he had dreamt for inspiration for all of his movies. So all of his movies are based off of a fucked up dream he had. And I think, what was it, the Cujo? And he was on some kind of drug or some shit, and fucking saw a dog, and that's how he saw the dog. And then he dreamt about it later on. Like that dude, and then even still to this day, this motherfucker has his mattress, he's a millionaire, has his mattress laying straight on the floor, no bed frame or nothing, has his mattress laying on the floor, so that way he can keep 1 foot planted on the ground and nothing can get under the bed. Because he believes all of that shit is like real. Because he's been sitting there fucking dealing with it and explaining to people and then creating that shit in real life. Like, yo, you kind of have to have a psychological problem to sit there and dream about something, write it down, and then have to sit there and visualize it in real life and then create it, and then be okay with it.
But think about the dreams that you have. Think about the dreams that you have.
No, I know, but I'm not sitting there.
And think about the dreams that you have, Ms. Fernandez. You already know.
I have bad dreams every night, but I don't get scared. She's like, aw, poor thing.
She already watches all. She causes them herself because she watches all these damn horror
No,
movies.
we really don't, because the kids don't like watching them, and he's like, why are you putting them on? The kids are here. And then even when we're here by ourselves, like, he's like, I don't want to watch that, I want to watch something funny. And it's like me, one of the reasons why, like, so I was reading why people like getting scared, why they like horror flicks. And a lot of people just do it to, like, desensitize themselves. So they kind of know, like, you know, it's not going to scare them. You know, they're kind of safe.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
No. I'm not saying that's the reason why. I do, but I've read the reason why people do that.
Anybody thinks that watching a horror movie or somebody getting shot or somebody getting stabbed is going to prepare you for if that shit happens in real life.
I think it helps. Okay, so from personal experience, I'm going to say I've dealt with a life-threatening experience that made me to be like more of a quick thinker. Like it took me at least 2 tries.
wakes up mad paranoid.
No, it took me 2 tries to get out of the situation. So first of all, I ran for the door. That shit didn't happen, and I had to get out of a window to get out after being like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I think that it's either gonna make you a victim or it's gonna make you,
it's the old like.
You're gonna rise above it.
Right.
Fight or flight.
Right. Of course.
Either you go.
Are you gonna be a survivor or are you gonna be a victim?
Exactly.
It's if you can
survive, or are you gonna just let the shit happen?
But I feel like some people they're scared of it and they let themselves live in fear, and there's they can't overcome it.
That's one of those times when I think that those people that are feeling that way, they like horror movies because it somewhat releases their anxiety about this is happening to somebody else, not me, but I'm getting scared because this could be me, but it's not me right now.
But I think a lot of people are too stuck in their emotions, so there's a lot of people that are too empathetic. And those are the kind of people that are just going to feel sorry for the victim and they're going to be like super scared right away. But at the other people...
I always predict shit.
Or they're either trying to be the hero, you know what I mean? Mostly men probably feel that way.
Hell no.
Especially
there's a lot of men out there that don't feel like that. You know what?
They're going to want to rescue the damsel in distress.
Yo, there's a lot of men out there that'll punk out real fucking quick. Yo, for real.
You just gonna throw something and be like, "Hey, babe,
no,
I gotta
I'm gonna try to hold her hand, but she's going too slow. I'm gonna let go."
No. Yo, didn't we talk about that on the zombie episode? Did we talk about that? Yeah. If I told her that I was over there and I was trying to convince her that it was a zombie apocalypse, she was like, "Oh, Paul, you're joking." I'd be like, "Nigga, all right, you got 10 seconds to get in the fucking car. If you don't get in the car, I'm out, my nigga." You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
Yo, we surviving or we not surviving? And
in those situations, so I have a hard time going to sleep, but at the same time, I feel like something, if that were to happen, like I can wake my ass up and think quick about it.
Do you think so?
Yes.
All right.
The only reason why I fall in those deep sleeps is because I have those bad dreams, so I'm kind of just stuck in them.
I think you fall asleep so comfortable because you know that there's protection around you.
No.
I don't know. I listen for certain things.
I've always been like that. Since I was a kid, I've always had those dreams. So I've always slept like that. But it takes a long time for me to fall asleep is a thing.
That's true. This is true.
But I'm up for a long period of time.
The thing I think about responding, when you having to respond to something so quick when you haven't been woken up like that before. Like, as far as like on a multiple like standpoint, if you're sitting here, you're asleep, you're used to this, everything being quiet, and then next thing you know, somebody's just yelling right next to your face. Like, going through basic training is way different than just getting scared every once in a while.
See, I'm different though. If you, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not safe to do around me. If I'm asleep and you come yelling in my face, I'm fucking socking your head straight into the goddamn stars.
I tried.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers are fully awake.
Yeah.
They're just gonna fuck.
You ain't doing that shit.
They're prepared for that type of shit.
Okay.
So when the first time it happened to me, I tried to swing. I got flipped out of my bunk bed onto the ground and fucking almost shattered my ass.
I feel like we're getting off topic.
I'm saying we were talking about being scared in the situation of like sleeping.
Okay.
And nightmares and stuff like that.
White people like.
No. I feel like no. I think that our point is what is the psychological way of thinking when it comes to creating something to scare somebody or something, or being scared in general. Like, you know what I'm saying? What is the fascination that we have when we feel like we got scared?
It's the animalistic side of our like mentality. Yo, we realize like we're animals.
Uh-huh.
We're made to fucking hunt, gather, kill, destroy, conquer. That's what we do.
Right.
And we're docile right now.
Right.
So the reason we want to see all this shit is psychologically, as just being an animal, we don't fucking get to tear our meat apart and fucking cut it up. Why do you think? Yo, I guarantee you, somebody that works in a butcher shop doesn't even watch horror movies.
So that means that basically what you're telling me is that we're all lions pretending to be fucking
sheep.
Yeah.
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 So the reason you want to see you necessarily don't want to see it because it's not something that you see on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
But think about people that like work in a morgue. I work in a hospital. I've seen dead bodies.
Right.
Like, that stuff doesn't bother you when you're around it. So I don't feel the need to go watch a horror movie. If you don't deal with anything that's life or death situation, you sit in an office all day and you stare at a computer, you're going to have that, like, tingling in the back of your mind, like, I need to see something kind of
okay, so what you're saying right now brings me to the other list, which is psychological thrillers. Now, this is a curveball, and a lot of people might not see it this way. It's hanging right there on my wall. Fight Club.
Schizophrenia?
Yes. I don't know if you've ever seen Fight Club. For the listeners out there, if you've never seen Fight Club, get up on your fucking shit.
I made her watch it.
Yo.
Yes.
Fight Club is one of my
ago, right?
favorite fucking movies of all time. And if you really sit there and study it, it'll make you think on so many levels. You know what I'm saying? There's so many ways that'll make you open up your mind.
Well,
It'll let you know that we're all fucking crazy.
Yo,
we're all fucked up a little bit. You know what I mean?
The perfect part that I thought was funny was when me and Sam was sitting there watching it, and the first time that Edward Norton talks to Brad Pitt on the plane, and I told her that was the 4th time that Brad Pitt was on camera.
That was a figment of his imagination, right?
Yeah. And I was like, that was the 4th time. She's like, what are you
Shout out to
talking about?
motherfucking Fight Club.
I told her, I was like, yeah, that's like the 4th time he's been on camera.
Yeah,
And I was like, we'll have to watch it again for you, because I'm not going to tell you which spot it was.
Yeah.
Yo, I had to watch that shit like 5 times before I actually understood every aspect of the movie.
You know the fucked up part is that when the first time we watched it, because I think you took me to the movies to see it, and we were sitting there watching it, and I kept seeing a glitch, and it just looked like back then some movies had that little strip that would fucking flash off and like
the little blip. Yeah.
So I just thought it was that, and then after fucking 10 years, I had watched that shit like maybe 10, 15 times by then, and then I started realizing when they did the flashback, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, he popped right there, right there, right there. I know the exact second.
Oh wow.
And I was sitting there telling her, and I was like, she didn't even notice I was doing this shit. I was sitting there doing one.
Yo, that's exactly why that shit is hanging on my wall, because that is a classic fucking flick. You know what I mean? Fight Club is fucking...
Fight motherfucking club.
So, I have something to add in.
Okay.
Because I've never seen Fight Club, but it was kind of making me think of this movie that... Shut up, Jay. I know. Because that's one of his favorite movies.
Sidebar. What do you got? What you got?
So, there's this movie on Netflix, and it's called The Woman with 7 Personalities. Did you ever see that?
Oh, I haven't.
Oh, shit. So, it's a UK movie. It came out in 2004, and it's basically her friend filming that she had a scene for a while, and she has all these...
What do you mean, like, filming, like, they're, like...
Her interactions with her, because she's schizophrenic, so she'll like be talking to you, and then she'll go out of it, and she'll have like this different personality come in. It has a different voice.
What's the name of that?
The Woman with 7 Personalities. It's really interesting.
Who stars in that?
It's a real movie. This lady, her name is Helen. It's a UK.
It's a documentary.
It's a documentary. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Shit.
Wow. So she has
That
all
sounds
these.
like Split.
But it's in real life though. It's crazy because she'll be talking to you and she has like this little kid's voice and she has all these like stuffed animals around her house.
I think that's the movie they based that.
And then she has some that are violent, so she kind of has to like write a diary and she kind of has to remind herself like who this personality is and why it's trying to hurt her. Who did what? Yeah,
So
she has all these names.
Does she do it herself, or does like her friend do it for her?
No, she's when she's herself, she starts to do it. Because she kind of starts to remember it, but her friend is the one that's like recording it and trying to figure out why she actually started like that. Because she was, friends with her when they were kids, and she was never like that. So as soon as like she started being an adult, it kind of just started evolving and just taking over her out of nowhere.
Yo,
weird.
Okay, so do you really believe in split personalities? Do you feel like the mind can really do that?
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Right, so
Yeah,
have you
the
ever
mind is
heard
very powerful.
PTSD? Perfect example.
Okay. I just want to hear y'all explanation on it. Because I believe it could happen. I'm just curious on why y'all believe it could happen.
So PTSD is somebody that can be perfectly normal
Right.
in a normal environment.
Right.
And then they have a trigger. A legit trigger like sound.
Okay.
Certain situations can trigger something in their brain.
Okay.
And they can either get violent, get scared, get emotional, and their brain starts to misfire pretty much.
Okay.
And they freak out. So it's the same thing. If somebody experiences something, everybody handles it a different way. And there is psychological ways that people
block off memories. So you only remember the good parts. The good parts of a family trip. But then like say the family trip like
almost like a form of Alzheimer's. Like you're remembering things in patches.
For sure.
Not even Alzheimer's, yo. It's you did it yourself, not like from a disease. Because Alzheimer's is a disease.
Okay.
It's you doing it. Your brain is.
So you psychologically, your brain is telling you to just fucking go. You don't have control anymore.
No, your brain is your defense system.
Of course it is.
So what it's gonna do is when you have one of those high trauma experiences, and your brain realizes that it's affecting the rest of your organs and all that kind of shit, it blocks that memory off automatically on its own without you even realizing it once you go through adolescence and shit.
Okay.
So if you experience something traumatic when you're 4 years old, like I remember shit from when I was 4.
Okay.
But
yeah, but you have
I have a weird memory.
You have a very see. There's not a lot of people like you. You have a very vivid memory. You can have a dream and be able to tell me that whole shit like it was a script in a fucking movie. And I'm like, nigga, I'm not in the mood to hear all that shit.
But
like,
you sat there and listened for 2.5 hours.
I'm like, yo, for real. I'm like, yo, if you're gonna tell me about your dream, nigga, just wait till you come to the crib.
I even tried to tell Sam about it, and I was like, I'm gonna break it down real fast.
Yo, so okay. So are we gonna stick to the psychological pathy of why people do what they do, or are we gonna stick to the psychological thrillers? Are we gonna go to another movie?
We can go to another movie. I mean,
okay.
I think the biggest question is what make besides like the animalistic side. I think even with people that work in those situations that get like Adrianna's crazy ass.
Oh yeah.
That gets a giggle out of it.
Yeah,
like somebody getting sawed in half from the crotch down.
Oh
Or the crotch up, should I say?
And she'll laugh, and everybody else is looking at her like, "What the fuck?"
But, I mean,
and I'm just the only one. I'm like, "Yeah, that's my lady, man."
I can't judge
Shout out
her.
to my lady, Miss Fernandez.
I can't judge her because I'm like, there's certain movies that we'll watch, and it's like somebody gets shot.
Also, side note, and I don't mean to cut you off, but Miss Fernandez is celebrating her birthday tomorrow.
It's today already.
It is today? Is it already midnight? Oh, shit.
You better say
Shout
it
out.
first.
Boom.
You better
boom.
say it first.
Boom. 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 Boom.
You better say it first.
Happy birthday, Miss Fernandez.
You just
Happy birthday, Miss Fernandez.
Happy birthday, nigga.
Happy birthday.
You know,
There we go. There we go.
And you know what he told me? He's like, we better go tomorrow, and you better go apply for your Social Security and shit. Like,
Yeah, she getting old.
You bring it hip.
Yo, get back to the topic at hand. Shout out to Miss Fernandez one more time. There we go. All right.
So I have there's something I wanted to bring up, just because I guess this kind of has to do with mental health in a way. People that probably shouldn't watch video games or like scary violent ones or scary movies just because they try to emulate those villains or they try to outdo them. Do you feel like that's something?
I think
that has
that's
to do with
just
our
improper
society?
guidance.
Improper discipline.
Yeah,
and
for real. If you're not smart enough to know the difference between reality and fiction, then you know what I'm saying, that you're
first of all,
fucking
how
idiot.
many times?
That's bad training.
Mom, you try to. Did you ever try? I'll call the cops.
Nah, hell no. With
I tried it
mom?
once.
You told mom that you was gonna call the cops.
I tried it once because of fucking bullshit ass shit at school. Yeah, no, I know. I knew I fucked up immediately. Because mom picked up the phone and dialed that shit.
Nigga.
She dialed that shit and handed the phone, and they said,
she was like, yeah, go ahead. She go ahead. She was, yo, I already know what mom would have said. Mom would have been like, yeah, go ahead. I'll pack your shit.
She let them show up to the house.
Oh, shit.
And, like, embarrassed me in front of the cops.
Of course she did.
And was like, oh, he got mad because I told him he couldn't do this. And I told him I was going to beat the shit out of him. And the cop, old white dude, looks at me and goes,
well, nigga, you fucked up.
well, I guess you're fucked.
Shout out to mom.
And I was like, never again, never again. That's because the fucking school I went to said, if your parent does this is wrong, you should call 911 immediately.
Yeah.
And I tried to threaten mom with that shit because she was about to whoop me.
Back to what she was talking about, though.
I don't know.
What were you talking about?
So, do you feel like people watching violent video games or horrifying films is a way to relieve, like, aggression?
I don't know.
Like, built up aggression?
There's the gym. You can go get into a fucking
I'm just saying,
Tai Bo
though,
class.
like, there's some
people
documentaries that say that there's something wrong with their brain, so that's a reason why, people are the way they are. Do you feel like people are born that way, or do you feel like society and games
No, I feel like that's a
or
lack
guidance.
at home. That's a lack of
guidance.
not even parental guidance, just attention.
Do you feel like bullies have a lot to do with that, though?
What?
Bullies?
Yeah, like,
No.
I mean...
No.
I know.
Bullies has become a big ass thing now.
You know what? It's only millennials that worry about bullies, because you know what? I think
bullied.
No, you know what? You know what? And you know what? Yo, check it out. There's a lot of people that might not agree with what I'm saying, but being bullied builds character.
Hell yeah.
You need to be punked from time to time.
Put
You know
in
what I'm
check.
saying? You can't. Yeah, for real. You can't be.
Soft all your life.
Yeah, for real. If
Like,
you're
no
sheltered,
matter-
if you
No matter your sex, gender, ethnicity, class, if somebody tests you, you don't let them punk you.
Hell yeah,
If you
yeah,
think
for
about
real.
it, Jay, though-
Even if you get your ass kicked, at least you stood up for yourself.
Yeah. But I'm saying is like, okay, so
People are
most
getting hurt by
parents, have
words.
you seen, babe, when we went to the restaurant, how many parents nowadays actually discipline their kids, though?
Oh
That's
shit.
because it's against the law now
That
to
is
sit there and
true.
whoop your kids in public.
Fuck
Not
that.
in public, though? You
Fuck
fuck.
that. I've told both of my kids I'll whoop your ass.
To the goddamn bathroom, or you take them outside or something like that?
Well, yeah, but doing that in public is now considered child abuse.
Shit. That's why they're worried about bullying, is because kids aren't allowed, or they're scared to actually, whip their kid's ass. And then in return, their kids don't know how to, like, understand because they're not scared of their parents, but they're scared of these other kids, but they should be scared of their parents more. And that's the reason why they don't know how to stand up for themselves.
Yo, one thing about it, and I'm gonna let the listeners know out there, I don't give a fuck what year it is. I am a parent of 2. I have a daughter, I have a son. And if both of them acted crazy in public, I will fuck them up. With no discretion. I don't give a fuck who's around. I don't give a fuck who you call. You can tell everybody. Tell everybody. I'm gonna let you know right now. I will fuck both of them up.
And then be waiting for the cops.
Waiting for the cops. And let them know this is exactly why I fucked them up. They was acting crazy with me. I'm their goddamn daddy.
You use your words more, and that's the reason why.
But the thing is that
why are we getting way off subject?
No, we're not.
No, we're still on this.
Okay, all right.
On what she was talking about.
Okay.
So I think the thing is that the reason why people are afraid to do it nowadays is because everybody thinks they're gonna show up on fucking social media.
I don't give a fuck about that. I ain't so.
I'm not talking about you, nigga. I'm talking about everybody else.
Just to let the listeners know, Anomaly ain't on social media. Fuck social media. You can catch me on the Random Review podcast. I'm your host, Anomaly. Fuck you.
I hate to do this to you, but that is social media, nigga.
I don't care. Whatever. I'm sorry. Continue.
But the thing is that people are afraid of being seen in some crazy ass light because somebody had their camera out.
Okay.
And only half of the video gets put out where it doesn't show the kid acting fucking crazy, because that happened to some chick like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Her kid was acting fucking crazy while they were in the store. She took her ass outside and started beating the shit out of her ass. It was spanking her. Not like punching her in the face or some shit, like something outlandish. She was whooping her ass. And the person got that on camera, and then they got the cops putting that chick in cuffs.
Yeah.
That's crazy, because my mom used to tell us that, like, don't touch anything. Or, I'm going to take you to the bathroom and fucking whip your ass.
That's better.
But
You ain't getting shit.
Yeah, for real. Ma
Don't touch nothing.
Yeah,
I'll
for
fuck
real.
you up if you touch a box of cereal.
Yo, Ma would have. Yo, I remember when me and Jay used to be in the store when we was little, and we would see another.
Candy or a toy.
Yeah, there would be another parent, and her kid would be talking crazy to her, and me and Jay would look at each other like, yo.
And then mom goes, I wish y'all niggas would.
Yeah, for real. And we would look at each other
and
like.
It was like, you ever seen like an anime where they have.
Shout out to Mom again.
Yo, for real. You ever seen that? Like, there's like an anime or a movie where somebody like getting real deep and serious and like their eyes go black and it's all shadowed and shit.
Yeah.
That was the look Mom would give us. Like she's standing like
she
4
knew.
feet above us, looking down with hellfire in her eyes, and she's about to knock both of us out with like 2 seconds.
But you have to be like that as a parent. You have to be like that because you know she was raising 2 boys, so she had to be the alpha there. You know what I mean? Because she knew your ass was hard-headed. She knew I was hard-headed. It's the same thing I had to do with my kids. It's like...
And I was the hyperactive one.
Yeah.
Running into walls and shit.
So I just want to throw it out there. My mom wasn't like super abusive. So Mom, if you're listening to this, I love you. But
shout out to Mom.
You can still. She probably still wants my ass at this age.
Just in case you take this the wrong way.
Just in case you ever hear this.
No, but that's. I mean, I think the main reason why I didn't put my mom through a lot of hell is because I think she went through a lot of it. So I didn't want to inflict any more pain than what she already went through.
I think that's what a lot of our generation tries to do. We try to do better than our people had to do. Our parents had to do, you know what I mean? They had to deal with a lot of shit.
Although at this time, and I'm sure she'll be listening to my sister, she's a little spoiled. So the fact that she's the youngest, I'm the oldest.
Which one we talking about?
Angie.
Angie, shout out to Angie.
Is that she don't get as much discipline as I did, you know, or responsibility.
Right.
So I feel like it's just like, yeah, like I said, like people are just scared to discipline their kids, or maybe it's just the time.
I think people in general are scared to speak the fuck up because we're living in the time of movements. Everybody's got a fucking movement. You know what I mean? Everybody's too scared to actually say what they want to say because they're scared of offending somebody else, offending another group of people. I don't give a fuck who you are. Straight up, to the listeners out there, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you're cool, you're cool. If you're an asshole, that's how I'm gonna treat you. Period. You know what I mean? Like I think everybody's too goddamn sensitive nowadays, and it's fucking me up.
Oh, way too fucking sensitive.
Way too fucking sensitive. You know what I mean? It doesn't make no sense, yo. Like, I grew up in a time where if you got punched in the fucking chest, nigga, walk it off.
Well, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like,
make sure you don't get caught off guard.
You know what I mean? Like, if you had an issue with something, you better have a homeboy to talk to, cause ain't nobody gonna listen to that shit. Nowadays, everybody's so sensitive. It's just.
Well, I think it's the weird thing is that now it seems like from the time when I was in like high school, everybody's afraid of being judged.
And maybe that's the old guy in me that's saying that shit.
Well, nigga, I mean, 10 years younger.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm saying,
a whole generation.
Like, I kicked it with every type of person in high school.
And you know I did too.
And nowadays it seems like everybody, at least from what is like shown, with like what you see looking around, just watching people and shit, that everybody's afraid to be judged.
Everybody's delicate.
They don't want to be labeled.
Everybody's delicate.
No, they don't want to be labeled now.
Fuck
and
that.
that's the thing that's fucking stupid.
And what's crazy
you're labeled at birth.
And see, what's crazy to me is that everybody from my time era, these motherfuckers are openly racist. These motherfuckers are open perverts. These you know what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? They've always been that motherfucker.
House because he's gonna say this or he's gonna try this.
Yes, exactly. Like don't leave your kids around this nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
But I think the thing now is like, yo, like everybody's sitting here throwing out a different label or trying to make something okay, like that whole fucking it okay to be a pedophile bullshit.
Yo, I told you about that.
Law.
I brought that up.
No, they brought that up.
No, I brought that up to you on a previous podcast episode.
Well, no,
yeah. And see, that was one thing that blew my mind is because I had heard about it at like on the slot. I had heard about it. I think I was driving home, and it was a fucking podcast episode where apparently there's a bunch of sex offenders that are trying to start a petition.
Not trying. They started a petition 2 years ago.
Okay, whatever. Either way, they're starting a petition, or they started a petition to make it legal to sleep with young boys.
And these are dudes. These are
and they think that
men.
it's okay because everybody else has a movement out there. We got the Me Too movement, we have the Time's Up movement, we have the fucking transgenders, we have all kind of shit.
I think everybody needs to stop fucking calling.
No, I'm just tired of this bullshit. Like, yo, I'm seriously tired of everybody making it a thing.
The thing with me about all of that shit, I think everybody needs to stop trying to make it a movement. And
I think everybody needs to shut the fuck up and just mind their own business and do what they need to do. Whatever you have to do in your life, do that shit. Don't worry about what everybody else is thinking.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Up, like, if
let's just hypothetically say that I like to sleep with fucking dogs or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's my fucking business. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm not trying to start a petition for it. If that's what I want.
Anomaly does not sleep with dogs.
Thank you, for real. Yeah. Anomaly doesn't. This is a point that I'm trying to make to the listeners. You know what I mean? But you dig what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
Like, yo, you just do what the fuck you gotta do and shut the fuck up about it. You ain't gotta go out there and have a whole petition about it. Be your own weird self to yourself.
Hold on. Everybody's worried about being labeled because they want to claim their own label. They want to make something that, like, there's a whole bunch of different sexualities that I have no idea what they mean. But I feel like a lot of them are just influenced on somebody being like, yo, you're gonna call me what I want to be called. And
you know, as soon as you said that shit, it made me think of Bruce Jenner.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And we're never gonna call that nigga
Caitlyn
Jenner. I remember that. Yo, I was a kid and remember seeing Bruce. Yeah, I know. I saw him on the Wheaties box. I remember when I was a kid and I still saw Bruce Jenner on the Wheaties box after winning an Olympic gold medal. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're never gonna get called Caitlyn Jenner to me, fam. Sorry.
Yo, he probably runs faster now.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
Why? Aerodynamic? Shout out to fucking Jigga. Oh my god. You stupid fool. I'm not.
All respect to everybody that.
And I'm not disrespecting. Yo, this is not a lack of. We're not trying to disrespect anybody. To the listeners out there, we're not trying to disrespect anybody. You're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want to do. But I'm gonna tell you right now, to be a gold medal winner, be married to one of the Kardashians.
Yeah. After the OG Kardashian died.
You know, and then wait till you're about 65 to decide you want to be an old white lady.
Like, yo, I mean, hey, to each their own. Right.
To each their own, but that is a weird choice of pace. That's a weird change of pace.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get back on topic.
Yo, okay, okay.
Before we start offending people.
Okay, so where were we at? Where were we at?
Remember I was telling you about this yesterday. I thought it was pretty interesting. I was just kind of skimming through, watching horror films and what makes people think of what. Uh-huh. But I came across this article. It's from The Telegraph. It's from UK News, and it was published in 2012. So basically, watching horror films burns nearly 200 calories a time.
Why?
Oh yeah.
Because your heart rate picks up.
So
that increases your metabolism.
So I'm going to read a part of it. The reason, so how they prove this, and it says the University of Westminster study measured the total energy expenditure of 10 different people as they watched a selection of frightening movies. Scientists recorded their heart rate, oxygen intake, and carbon dioxide output, and discovered the number of calories used increased by, on average, a third during the film.
Jesus Christ.
I feel like, hold on, with that, that
was a good fact, babe.
I feel like that's a manipulated...
Shout out to Miss Adrianna.
I feel like that's a manipulated trial, though. Because you have to put somebody in an isolated room, where they're by themselves.
How do you know they weren't isolated? It didn't say specifically.
But usually studies are isolated, so that way somebody else's reaction can affect somebody else's reaction. It's like lab rats. They don't put them in cages together. They're all in separate cages. Mm-hmm. So they're in an isolated room. They're hooked up to a blood pressure cuff. They probably have an oxygen mask on that controls their breathing just in case they pass the fuck out. So there can be so many factors that can manipulate the results. If the person's sitting there freaked out because they're claustrophobic and they're in a fucking white room alone, or a dark ass room alone, and they're seeing all this shit, yeah, they're gonna freak the fuck out. Like,
shout out to Jigga for knowing shit.
But I feel like if
I'm in like a movie theater and I'm seeing someone else getting frightened, do you think I myself am gonna be scared of this fucking person getting scared over some shit?
Say if somebody,
especially depending on the film.
But say if you're sitting in a movie theater, right? You don't realize that somebody went behind you because you were sitting there talking to somebody this way. They went and sat behind you, right? And you don't know they're there for like 45 minutes of the movie, and then all of a sudden, fucking a scary scene happens, and you're like, and then all of a sudden you're. You're not gonna fucking freak the fuck out because you didn't know that person was there?
I don't know.
Yeah, you would.
I might jump up. I might jump up. Yeah.
That causes a heart rate inflection.
Yeah, but
if you're sitting in a room by yourself,
do you think though, if they're doing this research, that they're gonna have somebody just randomly go up and scare them?
No, that's
because they're watching a movie.
But that's what I'm saying is being isolated and then with other people, because being with somebody that you know watching a scary movie makes your heart rate drop and stay at least a little bit more normal. Mm-hmm. If you're by yourself watching a movie and you're in a chair where they have you tied up, you're gonna feel constricted. So your body is already gonna be uncomfortable unless you're in the bondage shit. If you're in the bondage, then you're probably gonna fucking automatically your heart rate's gonna be way too fucking high because you're gonna be sitting here getting this blood pressure cuff tight and you're gonna be like, woo. But if
babe, tell them how much you love handcuffs.
How much I love handcuffs.
No, let me finish my explanation.
Fuck that shit.
Let me finish my explanation.
Oh my god, he freaked out.
Oh my.
We're not talking about that.
Okay.
We're not talking about that. If somebody that is in a room isolated and the only way to kind of minimize the fact about being in a enclosed room by yourself is to have it all lit up, right? If it's that is a contributor. That's a factor. If that factor is not listed, then your results are altered. They're not correct because you have to do a test with people in a room lit up by themselves, a room dark by themselves, a room lit up with other people, a room dark with other people. You have to. There's so many different things you have to do just to figure out why somebody burns more calories. You can't just say, if they watch this movie, you burn these calories. No, everybody's going to be different. It's not going to be... It's trial and error. Because some things, like, say, if you have a whole group of people in a lit-up room, just like we're in right now, we're watching a scary movie, you're not going to sit there and freak out as much if somebody walks up from the back of the house as if we were in a dark room watching a scary movie and then somebody pops out the back room or some shit. You're not gonna sit there and freak out as much as if it was pitch black.
Yeah, I can see that.
That study, like,
it
has to explain a lot fucking more.
It does. I was just kind of just pointing out something that I thought was an interesting thing to come by. But they did put, like, the movies, that they thought would burn the most calories, just being more frightened by them.
They listed movies that, like...
Yeah. And how many calories. So I just want to tell you guys what movies they are, and I want you guys to kind of guess which ones you think that people burn the most calories.
Okay.
So
how many is it?
There's 10.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
And I'm pretty sure it's ones you guys all seen. So, The Exorcist.
No.
Jaws.
No.
Shut up.
No.
The Shining.
These movies are not worthy.
Okay, so The Shining, Alien, Saw, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Paranormal Activity, The Blair Witch Project, The Chainsaw Massacre, and Record.
Record is on there?
Oh, it says Rec, yeah.
Record is on there?
Yeah.
Really?
I've never seen it, but it's on there.
You've seen it.
We've watched Record. I don't mean
it's like watching Quarantine. You seen that movie called Quarantine?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Okay. Are you guys gonna?
I want to say The Exorcist, honestly, because like that freaked me out. So that's my.
What do you say, Jay?
Okay. I'm really trying to
think. Go through the list one more time.
I'm really trying to think. Yeah, I'm really trying to think.
Okay.
I know which one it was.
So Record, Texas Chainsaw, Blair Witch, Paranormal, Nightmare on Elm Street, Saw,
I think whack-ass Blair Witch,
Alien, Exorcist, Jaws, and The Shining.
Am I supposed to pick something out of those 10?
Yeah, which is the top. The top
highest-
calorie burning frightening
You know what?
films.
Me personally, I'd probably say Aliens.
I think it was the Blair Witch.
Fuck that.
Which
No,
one is it?
I think it was the Blair Witch. I'll explain why
Okay.
before you say the results. I think it was Blair Witch because of the whole fucking camera moving around, shaking and shit, and most of the people that went to see that fucking, like, they were showing commercials of people throwing up during fucking watching that shit, and that shit was fucking whack as fuck.
Ew.
So I think the people that they picked probably liked that movie, or that movie actually freaked them out. I know they ain't picked no niggas.
I would have picked that one. I don't know.
They ain't picked no brothers. to
Only
watch that.
reason, well, I think
All these white people
no.
dying?
See, now you're talking. That's a whole different subject.
Oh my god.
If we're including the brothers in this shit, there's like, okay, there's
I
no
think it's
scenario where the
bullshit
niggas is gonna be
how
there.
In like
Yeah,
most
exactly.
movies,
You know what I'm saying? Like, how
the,
the fuck-
black people or the Hispanic people always die first. I'm like, all these white people think
Yo.
some
You
dumb
know they
shit.
didn't stop doing that shit until like fucking what was it 2015?
Yeah.
Was the first movie where they had the black guy die last.
No,
Or
wait, what's that one movie with
Deep Blue
LL
Sea.
Cool J?
Deep Blue
Deep
Sea.
Blue Sea.
Yes.
That was the first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
But
Yo, but does that
Like,
really
that would've
count?
been
Because
so
see,
bad.
Samuel
Sad.
Jackson got his
Samuel-
ass ate up in
but-
the first 30 minutes.
No. It was an hour.
He lasted a while,
hour.
babe. He lasted.
He lasted
a while.
about 40 minutes.
No,
That
I
was
watched
sad
that shit
because
last
he
week.
did all this
It was
like
an hour.
big little
That
speech.
nigga
Shout out to Samuel Jackson, fucking Jules Winfield, man.
Motherfucker!
Motherfucker.
Okay, so dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
It was The Shining.
Oh
Shining?
shoot.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Oh,
So
I didn't
100,
hear you say that.
184 calories.
I didn't even hear you say that.
I did. You
said-
had me repeat it twice.
I said I didn't hear you.
Well, it's
say
because
that.
The Shining is based on a actual occurrence, right?
No, it's based on a dream that fucking
Stephen King had. Oh, okay, damn.
All of Stephen King's movies and all that shit is based off of his actual dreams.
So
Stephen
He had
King's
from
a
being
fucking
kid
psychopath.
because he had to go to like a fucking therapist when he was a kid. Nothing helped in there, so they said after you have these dreams, write them down. That way they're away from you.
That way he hasn't killed anybody yet. I think
Exactly.
that's the only reason
he
why they
looks
told
like the
him.
fucking Crypt
Yeah,
Keeper.
Stephen King looks like a motherfucker that if they didn't tell him, yo, you need to write this shit down, he was gonna end up murdering the fuck out of somebody. Lightly. What else you got on there?
That's the end of my list.
I know you got more on there.
I'm done with you guys.
Oh, you know what? One movie that I got to throw in there, and we didn't mention it earlier. Get Out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was intense.
Woo!
How would we never mention that?
You know what's crazy? My sister made me watch that movie.
Yo, Get Out is crazy for so many reasons. Just because I didn't think that some shit like that could happen. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like
See,
that was the
all right.
scariest motherfucking movie for a black dude. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, yo. Shout out to Jordan Peele too, man. For real, yo. He's been killing it lately with the horror flicks. Cause we just saw Us and that was a pretty good flick too.
Alright,
Ooh,
no.
still need to
So
see
hold
that.
up. About Get Out.
Okay.
Remember, I love you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm about to tell a story.
Oh no.
Where are we going with this?
One time
So-
at band camp.
No, no, this ain't no American Pie type shit. So, my ex-wife is a white girl,
Alright.
and she wanted me to go up and visit her family.
Yeah, we know.
In Maine.
I know.
I know. I'm explaining. the story.
Okay.
And when
To the
Get Out,
listeners out there.
when Get Out came out after I'd gotten divorced, I immediately thought that was the same exact thought that I had when she asked me to go up to Maine, and they didn't. The closest neighbor was like half a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
A nigga going to Maine, where there's maybe two black people,
The
two
most
black families,
terrifying thing in the world.
and as soon as that movie came out, I was like, holy shit, I'm glad I didn't take that trip. I'd have ended up like that motherfucker.
Yeah, for real.
Oh no.
Oh shit, yeah.
So
Yo,
mad for a second.
yo.
This nigga was laughing too hard to back me up. Fucking folded. Fuck you, I'm grabbing a beer.
Yo. All right, so
Where are we going next?
okay, what we got? What are we still sticking on the psychological thrillers, or are we just sticking with psychos? What you got for me, Sam?
Oh my goodness.
Give me something, Sam.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
What's the last scary movie that you saw?
It was that. What was that movie again? Was it Clown? What was it again?
Terrifier.
Terrifier. That was the
Okay.
last one.
Okay.
And that really got to me, man. That was gruesome.
You know what? Other than the one scene where they had old girl hanging upside down,
Yeah.
I could handle the rest of it. Now, that one scene alone was like, yo, how the fuck are you gonna make me watch something like that? That's fucked up.
Honestly, though.
The Terrifier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I told you, yo, that's where we started, like, because I cut it off because her niece was in the room.
Uh-huh.
And she's 11, right?
She's 12.
Oh, hell no. She can't be watching no shit like
So-
that.
And she's the one that
Yo,
recommended
I'm 30.
it.
Yo, for the listeners out there, I'm 38 and I shouldn't be watching no shit like that.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
Yeah. Oh,
That's fucking crazy. That movie was fucking crazy. And it was
picked it.
fucking Danger that it recommended that shit to me.
Well, no, we started watching.
Shout out to my man Danger.
We had seen it on there and we thought it was kind of creepy, but we were like, we'll watch that on the night where we're like awake a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So I think we found it like 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm not about to spend the last 2 hours of my night watching this fucked up shit.
You know what? And for the listeners out there, I think what we're going to do is at some point, we're going to get a segment during the podcast where we just pick a horror movie, or maybe it's the worst movie of the week.
No, yeah, no.
Should it be a horror movie or the worst movie of the week? Worst movie of the week. We're gonna start doing that, so
And
y'all can
I'll take suggestions. If y'all got me
definitely.
on Facebook,
If y'all
I'll
got
take the
suggestions, throw them motherfuckers in the comments, and we will
watch it.
definitely go watch that shit, and we will talk shit about it, and you can talk your shit about it.
But don't try and make me pay no more motherfucking money, nigga.
Yeah, I ain't paying money for
Download some new
shit.
shit.
Yeah, for real.
You better pick something, Netflix or Hulu, motherfuckers.
Oh, you know what? One movie, yeah,
Insidious.
Insidious. How do you feel about that one?
I love that one.
How do you feel about that
Yeah.
one, Miss Adrianna?
Seeing as how we both have fucked up dreams,
Yeah, y'all do both.
I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah,
because
yeah.
when
It's like y'all dreams are fucking in unison. Yeah,
Let
they
me-
sync
let me ask
together
you,
like a fucking
when
Bluetooth.
you're
shit.
having one of those like wild ass dreams that are out there that really don't make sense, do you
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's real life?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this. So when we're hanging out or when he comes to like hug me, I don't like being like squeezed, or I don't like anybody like touching my ribs, only because I've had multiple dreams where I felt that and I couldn't wake up from, like, I felt that pain
Sleep
deeply.
paralysis.
No, like it
Type,
hurt.
like
yeah, like
something was squeezing you down.
No, not squeezing. Like you could feel someone like reaching under your ribs, and
Oh,
I
shit.
could feel that pain
You talking about like in between?
underneath, like pulling.
Oh, the bottom?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that
that's
shit
why
hurt.
I
That shit hurt.
don't like him like squeezing me so much that way.
But that's what, but I'm saying
it
like
brings
your
up-
dreams, like.
But it's happened multiple times.
But
Yeah.
do you wake up like say if y'all ain't touching, like y'all on opposite
Yeah.
sides of the bed, which I know y'all ain't. You fucking karate chop everything in the world. But like if you're separated, like you're not touching or whatever, do you feel like if you wake up from a dream like that, like you just came out of like a different life? Like you actually feel like some kind of pain or like adrenaline rush, that kind of shit.
I think mainly like if it has to do with like a death of anybody I love, not myself personally. I don't feel anything when I feel like I'm gonna die, because I know that can happen at any time. But if I feel like someone else is going to die, or if I feel like that might be, the only reason why I get scared of that too is because I know people can almost have like predictions. So I don't ever want to think of that, because I don't know if that's something that's gonna come
Shit,
next.
especially with me, fucking my family being from part of my family being from New Orleans and shit. Fucking witches and.
So I think that's the only thing that really scares me is other people dying
Well,
in
no,
my
like,
dreams.
so-
Then I wake up freaked out and scared for their lives.
Well, that's what
pretty
I'm
much.
saying. Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, do you wake up feeling like, oh shit, I need to call that person, or I need to like at least text them or something. Like, first thing in the morning, I want to make sure that person's okay.
Yeah. Only because I know my mom, she's had dreams like that, and that actually happened to be true with my grandpa. She had a dream that he was in trouble, and he was going through drugs, and he was pretty much almost homeless, and she went to go get him, and she pretty much saved him, and he pretty much stayed with us for a long period of time, because he wasn't in a good state of mind.
See, I've never been in that
good
like
place.
situation where it like led to something. It's just one of those things where if I have a crazy ass dream about something like horrific or something, like when I wake up, I feel that shit for hours after I woke up. Like, my entire body feels like I was just running, like I was running in my dream. I feel like I just fucking had lost 10 pounds from fucking sweating. I'm hungry because I fucking burned off a bunch of calories. Like, I feel that shit for like a while after I wake up.
Right.
So I think it's one of those things where, for me at least, I think having like stress or whatever that keeps you going as you go to sleep, something like you're not fully asleep. Your body's still functioning, like as far as like nerves firing, when things are supposed to kind of like shut down and heal and everything like that.
Right.
So I feel it. Like if I got kicked in my ribs in my sleep, like in the dream, I feel like I got kicked in my ribs when I wake up.
You motherfuckers have vivid fucking dreams.
Listen, when I was deployed, I'm not even gonna go into the whole story, but when I was deployed, I had a crazy ass dream, and it took me 2.5 hours to explain detail for detail of about what, say 5 hour dream to Anomaly. And I sat there and this motherfucker listened the entire time.
To Anomaly. Wait a minute. You were having a dream about discussing something with me.
No, I had the dream and then I was on the phone with you while I was deployed.
Okay. All right. Continue. I'm sorry.
It took 2.5 hours and this nigga was like running errands and doing everything. It took 2.5 hours to explain a 6-hour dream that was maybe an 1.5 movie.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yo, every time
I had to go detail for detail, like what I was wearing, how bloody shit got, or how fucking a person looked to me because people were mutated in the dream, and all kinds of shit. Like they looked like fucking Doom.
So
oh my god!
I've had it in dreams where I've killed people and I've tried to cut off their head and all kinds of shit, and they just fucking come back to life, and I'm just like, why won't you fucking die already?
Shout out to Miss Adrianna. What the fuck?
So we cool, right?
She said I've had dreams where I've talked about killing people.
Nigga, I just got a house. I just got a house.
Calm down, fam.
Don't they say that in Zombieland?
Yo. Oh my god.
Yo,
so,
you know what?
Babe,
They're supposed to be coming out of Zombieland too.
Yeah,
yes, I saw that.
Babe, but weren't you saying, okay, this is one of the questions we wanted to bring up. Do you think you can actually kill somebody, or do you think that you would be the victim?
Do I think that I would be the victim?
Hell no. I'm gonna kill somebody quick as fuck.
Okay, that's
I think the question that you're really trying to ask is if we're capable of killing somebody.
Yes.
Really? Is that what you're really trying to ask?
Yeah, some people aren't though. Some people say that.
I think
I know you two
wouldn't.
wouldn't.
Wouldn't what?
You two who?
You and
wouldn't what? We wouldn't
kill
what?
somebody?
You wouldn't be. Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm saying you guys would be capable.
Oh.
Some people would probably say they wouldn't.
Oh, I'm definitely capable of killing somebody.
Like,
I think most people are.
Yeah.
If you're put in a position where you have to defend yourself or you're protecting somebody that you love, hell yeah, you're gonna kill somebody.
Man,
if it came down to somebody that was no, check. If somebody was trying to attack my kids, my family, my loved ones, hell yeah, I would do it with no fucking discretion.
Oh, with the quickness.
Yeah, with the quickness, and wouldn't feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to fucking Anomaly.
That's weird. You shout yourself.
Yeah, I shout out myself every goddamn time because I tell everybody I'm not a sucker, man. If it comes to my loved ones and my family, yeah, I'll do whatever the fuck I gotta do. You know what I mean? So
we all would.
Yeah, but exactly. What you got?
I think if it came down to,
I can't say anything on record because then what if they hold this?
It's not premeditated. It's not premeditated if you don't say a name.
I don't care. They might know.
No, they don't. Hey, what is it? Those fucking memes when it's like that message didn't get sent and then it says F.9, I got you, bro.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They try to reword
What do you think, babe? Would you be able to kill somebody?
I mean, if I was in a situation, of course, like if I had to defend somebody or like defend myself, of course I would.
See,
but
that's
I mean,
honest right there.
If it was
that's
just
honest.
like, oh, I want to go out in the world and just kill somebody, no, I would never do
and that's
that.
what we just talked about the other day.
Yeah.
So say if somebody tried to steal your car.
Would I kill him for it?
And you have your gun on you. Say if like All your rent is in the car.
Okay, so I think in a situation like that, do I think a motherfucker needs to die for stealing my car?
Would you shoot him?
Would I shoot him? No, but I would scare the shit out of him. I would do whatever I could.
I didn't say shoot him to kill him. I just said shoot him. Because I'd kneecap him.
You know what?
Quick.
Okay, so I've already seen this in my
It's
mind.
not attempted murder. It's just it's attempted
So,
manslaughter.
okay, let's say I'm at the grocery store, and yes, they got cameras everywhere, and they're at my car door. Okay, I have a crowbar in my trunk already. I've already thought this shit out. And I have a knife in my purse already.
Okay, now you snitch on yourself.
I don't give a shit. I'm a fucking wait.
You the one that brought it up a second ago.
I walk late at night by myself. So yes, I have a fucking knife. He won't let me get a gun, so I have a knife.
Shit,
Yes.
I don't trust you with a gun. I don't
Yeah,
trust
for
my
real,
mom
you don't
with a
need no
gun.
goddamn gun.
I don't trust Sam with a gun because I feel like it'd go off the wrong direction.
Yeah, but anyways, if he was at my car and I
She
have my
shoot that
crowbar
nigga's
in
ear
the
off on that
trunk, so you don't need to hear. You don't hear
No,
shit.
you need headshots. We need headshots.
And I could do the damage with my keys if I needed to. Fucking stab him in the eye, then he can't say shit anymore.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Roberto's got a new knife.
Oh shit.
That's what my aunt told me, and my aunt's crazy. But yeah, she's like, always carry your keys in the middle of your fingers. Because if someone comes up,
Yeah. That's the best way you fucking shank somebody.
Get him in the eye.
Mom was the first one to tell me that.
Hell, nigga, you know what? I used to walk around in school. You know remember the combination locks back in the day?
Yeah.
I didn't put mine on my locker. What I used to do is I kept mine in my pocket and I'd have it wrapped around my finger. So
You talking
anytime
about the double
I would be
one?
walking around like
The big
that with
one?
my lock on. What?
The big one?
Like a combination lock.
Yeah, the one that like fits around like 2 fingers.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know if it fits around 2 fingers, but you
Hey.
can use that shit. I put that shit in my pocket, right? And I'd be walking around and I'd be waiting for somebody to get it cracking. And I remember knocking somebody the fuck out the first time. I pulled that shit out of my pocket and it was
That's
wrapped
'cause we
around
was
my
always
hand.
fucking new
I
kids.
clocked this nigga. I clocked this nigga at his locker. Dropped him like a motherfucking bad habit.
That's because we was always fucking.
Yo.
Test the new nigga,
Yo.
like they fucking think they tough.
Yo, I'm not the one. But
Babe, don't you know my freaking bottle opener looks like brass knuckles?
it does, and I love them. You wouldn't let me get brass knuckles.
Fuck no.
She's scared of me getting brass knuckles,
when
yo.
the cops
Are
fucking
you
took
out
that
your
knife
mind?
that had
She's
the-
scared of me getting brass
Babe,
knuckles.
you already got no. You can already use your fists. Okay, you don't need brass knuckles. You don't need to go to jail. You
She
too
said
old
I
for
got a
that
knockout
shit.
punch. Don't kill any.
Okay, I've never seen that, and I don't. Want
I have.
Yeah,
Oh
Jay, no.
goodness.
And I was in the middle of you almost beating somebody up, so no, let's not.
You were in the middle.
I
you
do
was
have a
behind me
knockout punch.
Fucking supporting that shit. You said, "Yeah, nigga, get him."
No, I didn't.
Both of our hands were in the air.
Oh my goodness.
It's not like we were sitting there and I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Jay, no." You legit was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
up, nigga?
Yeah.
Big ass on the ground.
I
Yo,
was
what
like
happened,
still
my
trying
nigga?
to
Look
figure
like
out
you
what
fell.
happened. I looked down. I'm like, what is going? Okay.
Yeah, I remember intervening that night. That was the first night that I had to be the voice of reason. That was a funny
For
night.
me.
Wow.
Give me another one. Give me something else.
We're going to what's up?
Where
what's
we
on
at?
your list?
Where
We
we
were
at?
talking about Insidious, weren't we at first?
Yeah.
Damn, we jumped way off.
Yeah.
We Insidious was like fucking 15 minutes ago.
Nigga, you been like 20
Jesus
minutes
Christ.
Yeah.
We're already an hour and 33 minutes in.
ago? Always happens.
Good episode though. Good
I'm
episode.
gonna sleep good tonight.
Yeah. Give me
you got?
something else.
What
What
you
you got? What you got? What you got? What you got? What you got? What
Why
you
do
got?
you guys look at me?
What was the other
Cause you
movie we
got the
watched,
list.
though?
Which one?
You know which one I want to talk about that is kind of a thriller was that movie with Paul Walker. He had to go save the kid that had the gun.
Running Scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
not.
feel-
That doesn't count. That's a totally different movie.
But it's a thriller.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No.
Well,
No.
Fuck me then.
That's more of a action drama kind of movie. I wouldn't consider that like. We can't put that in the realm
Of
of.
what we just talked about, yeah.
Because you
Okay,
know.
so he didn't want to talk about it. I wasn't sure about it either. So have you watched the new Pet Cemetery?
Oh my gosh, Black.
No, I couldn't. I
Sorry.
didn't pay attention No, go ahead.
No. Like, I felt like me and my niece were kind of distracting you. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember it, like, 90% of the movie.
Why do I feel like I missed like,
wasn't-
the last 5 minutes of that movie?
It wasn't, like...
It wasn't.
But it wasn't one of those things that, like, was a tension holder. Anyways,
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really grasp anything, and it was kind of... It was just like rewatching the first one.
No, the first one was better.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm saying, like, the story-wise, like, it was the same story, but it was, like, a different kid.
Okay, so what I'll
family
give
and
to
all
the
that
new
shit.
Pet Cemetery, and this might be a spoiler alert if you haven't seen the new Pet Cemetery, the original focused on Gage, the little boy.
Yeah.
He was the one that came back. Okay? They were trying to figure out why the fuck he was possessed, right?
Yes.
The remake, everybody else is possessed at the end.
Yeah.
That's what twisted it.
However, it starts with the girl and the boy, the
And I thought it was
Gage.
gonna be
He
Gage.
doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't end up being possessed up
At
until
all.
the end because they don't show it at the end.
Yeah.
So it's a
But
girl.
The one reason why I feel like they did that was to reboot Stephen King. And just because of his movie, Dr. Sleep is coming out this year.
Dr. Sleep is coming out. Damn, I forgot about that.
Nigga, that is
and
my,
It Too?
that
Holy
is-
shit.
That is my favorite book.
Oh my god, yo, I can't wait to see It Too, man. Shout out to motherfucking Stephen King, and James McAvoy's gonna be in that bitch. You know what I mean?
You know, I don't read books a lot. And Dr. Sleep is the one book that I've read 5 times. I know everything about that fucking book. And the fact that they're coming out with the movie for it finally as the sequel to The Shining is fucking remarkable, yo. And the fucking trailer is dope because they portray every character that's portrayed in the book.
Yeah.
They give a quick glimpse of each one of them. And if you've read the book, you know exactly who each person is.
Man.
And that shit is, it's not only... So,
Shout out to fucking Stephen King.
so you know, like, The Shining, the little kid had this, like, mental power to see the dead, right? And at the end of it, he gets taught how to lock them in his brain.
Right.
That goes on into the next one, and this nigga's like your age, like...
Why you gotta say it like that?
The nigga's in his 30s.
This nigga's like your age.
So
I was trying not to say
This
your
nigga's
age.
ancient.
But, nah, nigga, I know niggas that are ancient. you ain't ancient, you just old as fuck.
I just look good for my age.
Yeah, and your hip don't work.
Shout out to Anomaly.
With his broken hip. But no, like the way that they are portraying the book into this movie is actually like on point.
Okay.
It's not like everybody's upset about the remake of it. Like it's not the same. It's not scary as it was. And the thing is,
You don't feel like it's...
I feel like it's dope.
I think it's better, right?
I think it is because they split the story instead of bouncing back and forth.
I
between
think that they made it
adolescence
more
and
brutal, and I think that's what made it
yeah.
better.
When that nigga bit Georgie's arm off,
Hell
yo,
yeah! I was like,
yeah!
yo, for real, they didn't show that shit in the original. In the original,
you just see him get dragged in the sewer.
Yo, in a fucking remake, yo, we was tripping out. Shout out to fucking It Too, man. Yeah.
Like, it was, I think, dope, and it was funny because I was deployed when I watched it. And one of my homeboys is like mad scared of scary movies. Like he can't watch scary movies. He gets freaked out like easy as fuck.
Really?
Yeah.
He's
And
deployed with you, but he can't watch scary movies.
Nah, real life shit. Like if it's an action flick where people getting blown up and some shit like that, he's fine with that.
Man,
but seeing ghosts and people getting like shredded apart, like some random shit, like that freaks him out.
All right.
And I mean, I get that. Like real life shit is like you getting blown
you
up.
think that's why babysitters don't want to like, are scared of watching kids by themselves because you see a lot of that shit happen in scary movies. You know that shit can happen, especially in Albuquerque. Shit.
Nigga, they have an app for that now. There's an app for
I don't give a fuck
babysitters.
about that app.
There's
They
an
got
app
a some weapons
for that.
No. If they have an app for it, they have enough people that are okay with watching people by themselves.
Fucking app for that.
Shit ain't fucking. Ain't nobody worried about that shit no more.
Everybody can hear that paper crumple up right now, can't you?
Nigga just destroyed
I just destroyed the episode.
Fatality.
Fatality. Should I do this Jason Statham voice again?
Yo, do it one more time.
First of all, I'm going to take your face, and I'm going to put it in his face, and I'm going to put it over there in his face. Then we're going to go back and do his face again.
We'll take your face, man.
Take your face.
So, have you guys seen any of the Sinister movies?
No, I haven't.
The Sinister movies are pretty dope. The first one
Which one's the Sinister?
Okay, that had Ethan Hawke. The first one had Ethan Hawke, the dude from Training Day.
Yeah, he's in the second one too. No, he's not.
Yeah, I don't know if he was in the second one.
Because he died in the first
one. I vaguely remember that.
Okay, yeah. Sinister
where he
is pretty
finds
dope.
these films where it's basically those
with
sniff
the fucking
films,
the shit
snuff
they made
films.
fun of in fucking a haunted house, where the fucking dude it was a ghost.
Well, I mean,
like,
they made
or
everything.
whatever.
They made fun of everything in
It's where
Haunted
they have
House.
these snuff films where basically they see all these families, one kid in
Getting
the
killed.
family getting killed.
That's not a snuff film.
It's
Yeah,
the
it
entire. It's the entire family.
Okay,
getting
all right.
killed by the kid.
Wait a minute. For the listeners out there, a snuff film is when they are recording a sexual act where somebody is getting killed or raped or punished or tortured. That's what a snuff film is.
That's what happened.
It wasn't a snuff film.
Yes, it
They had the kids.
No, it wasn't.
They had the family hanging from a tree.
Yeah, that's not a
they
snuff
had the
film.
Kids the family getting pulled into a pool.
It's a sexual thing. Yeah, that's a snuff film is a sexual thing.
It was a demon collecting kids' souls. I remember.
Yeah, it was a
talking
torture fucking video or some
But
shit like that.
He would make one of the kids kill the entire family.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, that's what exactly what it is.
That's what they were making fun of in Haunted
A
House
snuff
2,
film is
where this
way
nigga,
different.
Where this nigga is sitting here doing like the fucking fish hook middle finger shit, and then rewinding that shit while Marlon Wayans is looking away, and he goes like, action. He goes, no, you didn't.
Yo, don't
And he
even
goes,
get me started. Don't even get me started on how Haunted House did that shit. Because you remember, he was having fucking a Facebook issue with Annabelle.
Annabelle, yeah. Miss you.
Yo, what else do we got on the list,
Conjuring.
man? The Conjuring. That's actually based on real shit.
Yeah.
That's based off of Annabelle, right?
Yeah.
Lauren and
Lorraine,
I think those
What-
people are just fucking idiots.
What are the names?
No, Ed and Lorraine Warren.
I think they're idiots.
I don't
Why?
think so.
The girls
They're
that-
smart.
Some people
No.
had to take care of that shit.
They're smart,
Yeah.
but if Annabelle would have killed everybody in that house, they'd have burnt that house down.
They had priests that would come over every few months to come bless the house because they kept everything. And I mean, they probably. It's not like you can burn all that shit. That shit
But
might
they
come
had
back.
a kid.
Yeah.
They had a kid after they had started doing all this shit, right? They had a
And she
kid.
got curious and wanted to go in. And,
Because they had the shit in their house.
and she,
If I have a fucking whole Hitman fucking arsenal in my closet, my kid is definitely gonna be like, what's in here? Why is Dad always walking to this lit up room with a whole bunch of guns? Are you serious? You just,
shit.
even if they don't fucking touch it, like they're gonna still look at it and go walk into the room.
Right,
How do
right.
you know?
not
I
an
don't know if that
excuse.
part is true. They
You
might
can't
have
blame
made
it
that
on the
shit
baby.
up though. They might have had that shit locked up like fucking.
No, they didn't. They had
Might
a
have.
fucking. They had it in a fucking glass case.
No. They
With a
had
little-
Annabelle, but not the whole room was basically locked up with everything. But Annabelle was locked up
Yeah, and then-
especially because
no,
that.
the
fucking
dad
shit
left
was
the fucking door open.
Okay.
That's what happened in the movie. The
In
dad
the
left
movie.
the. That's. Yo, them motherfuckers are the one that approved it to use their names.
Oh goodness.
So the motherfucker said, "Yeah, I fucked up. I left the door open." So we haven't seen Emily since like 1982. We think she's in Minnesota, but we don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Like no, nigga, they motherfuckers probably left the fucking door wide open the entire time. Didn't lock shit except have a little latch on the fucking case because the picture that they show online is a case, right?
Yeah.
Have
It's a
you ever?
glass
It's a
case.
Raggedy Ann doll, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have one of those too, and I have a picture.
Nah, see, you know what? I would go visit that museum and then roll a grenade.
You know, she
right
died.
Into it.
Not
Pull the
too
fire
long.
alarm,
No,
make sure
she
everybody
died
get out,
because
and roll a grenade in
the
it.
husband died first, and the wife, she just died not too long ago. So I'm like, who the fuck is taking care of that? I really want to know. Maybe she'll.
Well, didn't
Somebody
they say
kid's
on
been
in
dead,
the movie
right?
that
No,
the
I'm
priest
serious.
would
What did
come?
they do with everything though? Like who's really gonna watch that whole place? I wouldn't want to stay in that fucking house, even though
What
I am
state is that in
intrigued by
again?
that.
What state was that in?
Oh shit!
They did
Fact
that shit?
check.
That's
Fact
good.
check.
Because whatever state that shit is in, I don't want to go there.
Fact
ever.
check.
The whole state.
Watch
is
it be
fucking
fucking Ohio.
Probably.
Because I've fucking been there.
Or Florida or the Bronx. Oh, Bronx.
The Bronx.
Bronx. The Bronx. The Bronx.
Fleur Blanca.
The Bronx. The Bronx. What do you got? 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 What do you got?
Stop! I'm looking.
Well, hurry up.
You are not typing fast enough.
Yeah, for real.
No, I'm reading.
We are
Why are you
recording
reading?
right now. We are an hour and 45 minutes in. We've been from the slums of Shaolin.
Sorry. For everybody that was my
Monroe,
first
Connecticut.
recording burp.
What you got? What you got?
Monroe, Connecticut.
Connecticut. Shit, no, we're not going to that whole reunion. Nah, so people I would deploy with, one of the dudes has like a dope ass ranch in Connecticut, and he wants us to drive up there like middle of
She
September.
just died in April.
I just heard about that. I heard about that. She just
We're not
recently
going.
died.
Okay.
You trying to go to Connecticut?
We were gonna do it because it's people I was deployed with that are like mad cool people, so, and it's basically all we have to do is get there and everything else is paid for.
Huh.
They have like a whole cabin, like his house is like 10 bedrooms.
Wow.
Man, we have jumped way off subject.
Well, no,
And
we
you
was
know
waiting
what?
We was waiting for the.
I'm
fucking-
waiting for fact checker over here so we
Yeah.
can wrap it up for the evening.
Oh.
What do you got?
It was Connecticut.
Yeah.
It was Connecticut, and then I said that was where we were supposed to go meet some people. But anyways,
what you
trailed
got?
way the fuck off this.
I am curious to
episode.
know who takes care of that house right now.
I don't know.
I do.
Nah, you email that nigga and then
Yeah,
you know,
let
make
us
sure
know.
You
For
stay
real.
like a couple
Put it
blocks
on
away.
right now. Let us know what's up.
Nah, I don't want that response email.
No?
Because I feel like that sends all of that fucking negative energy that's living in that fucking house. That nigga's possessed already. He's been in there by himself for probably like 30 years. And he's gonna be like, hell yeah, I got you. And then sit there and send an address, and then all of them shits is gonna move right into your apartment. They're gonna be sleeping on your table.
Oh my God.
You gonna wake up with two twins standing on your fucking couch.
What did you look up before we close this out?
You know his first response would be, "What the fuck y'all standing on my couch for?"
You can close it because there's like a whole.
You ain't got nothing?
No, it's.
Yo, alright.
Hey.
Yeah, hey, yo. Well, we had a good episode tonight. Yeah. This is the Randumb Review Podcast. I'm your host, Anomaly. Jigga.
We out.
We out.
I think everybody should like sleep with them.